Hello, my friends. Andy over at the Andy Falco Show, coming to you live from Brea, California. It's 8:30 in Southern California. Just want to come on really quick and let you know tomorrow I'll be talking about why I believe President Trump will be reelected, or not reelected, why he will win California on his way to reelection in 2020. And I know that could sometimes be not a popular discussion, but we're gonna have that discussion, and I'm gonna lay out why, all the reasons. I have several reasons. I'm not sure if I'll be able to lay out all the reasons because it could be a very long show if I do that, but I have some very specific reasons that I was kind of holding back. I've not shared these over the last year or two when I began to realize, hey, he has a good chance to win California. And but as things began to progress through the COVID-19, all the things that he's done, and I know that the left says he's done nothing. He's been on vacation. He's been golfing. I know that, he's the busiest guy for someone who's been golfing and doing nothing, right? But we're going to talk about all that kind of stuff tomorrow. It's going to be fun. My name is Andy, aka Lemming, because out of the 4,000 friends I have on Facebook, there's two so far, and there may be others, but two who love to just all they do is all they do is come up with names. It is the awesomest thing. I see lots of people that are joining. Go ahead and comment. Let me know that you're watching. Let me know that you are here. Whether you think I'm a lemming or an a-hole or a Nazi or a baby killer or all the other names I've been called, feel free to comment. I love that because when you comment, it helps get the video out to other people. But tonight, what I'm talking about is just what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. The one thing I do want you guys to comment on is whether you want me to do it at noon tomorrow or in the evening. What is best for the audience? Because I'm still trying to figure out where the audience is for the Andy Falco Show. If it's a daytime. Now things have changed since we've been in quarantine. There seem to be more people watching during the daytime, but it really depends, I guess, on the subject matter. Like for instance, I had the Funk Brothers on today. They have millions of viewers. Most of my viewers are not of the age group that watch the Funk Brothers. So you're going, who are the Funk Brothers? Like I did when they first contacted me to help them with one of their broadcasts, which I will be doing on Friday, helping them produce a show on Friday. But they have 5 million viewers on simply just one of their videos, right? So these are huge YouTubers and broadcasters. I'm going to be learning from these guys, that even though they're a lot younger than me, but they know what's going on. So as far as my show, as I'm beginning to build, it's a brand new show. This will be the third. Like this one right now, I think is the third show, and then the actual show tomorrow will be the fourth show. But I'll be laying down the reasons that I believe that Donald Trump will win California. And I know there's even people in the Republican Party, people that believe in Trump, do not believe he's going to win California. But I think he will. And I predict that he will win California. Let's see what some of the comments are. I'm sure they're fabulous. Hey, Mario, nice to see you. Well, on that headline. Yeah, that is interesting, right? Mario's a fantastic broadcaster. He does it often. I try to join him as much as possible. And we as broadcasters, always trying to struggle. Where is our audience? Are they watching in the evening? Are they watching in the morning? Are they watching in the evening? Are they watching at dinner time? Are they watching late at night? I found that sometimes on my dog training broadcast that many dog viewers watch really late at night. It's kind of an interesting thing, right? When I'm talking about business marketing, it really tends to be the nooners, right? I'll do a lunchtime video and I get a huge audience. So it's really interesting that different subject matter, different audiences watch at different times. And so trying to figure this out, especially with East Coast, West Coast, Mario's in Detroit. It's interesting that he jumped on right now because it's just something we're always trying to figure out. So Mario, thanks for joining. Nonstop with biz during day, more time at night to digest and party because you're a party guy. That's Mario's that's how he is all the time. I don't know that I have seen him on maybe a couple of shows where he's not dressed in a suit with a tie, but every event that I've gone to that Mario's at, he is the best dressed person in the room. Always. It always has a monster drink or some type of energy drink. which and he's not, and he's thin. So I'm not sure how he does that. But anyway, Michigan. Oh my gosh. Sorry that you live in Michigan. So, and actually, that's one of the things that I think the reason why I think that Trump will win California. And so we're going to talk about that. There's a lot of really, I think I'll have some good information for you. Things for you to consider and to think about. You know, I have people attack me with polls all the time, and I know that Juan on the 5 and one of the contributors on Fox News, he loves to bring up polls and says, well, the polls say, well, did you not remember in 2016 what the poll said? Right. This is why people were saying you're crazy if you think Trump's going to, because I would tell people Trump's going to win in 2016. This was months leading up to the election. Right. This was before he was even had the nomination. I was telling him not only is he going to get nominated, he's going to win. And people said, you are nuts. He is not. What are you, crazy? And that will lead me to a discussion I'm going to have tomorrow on why I'm totally convinced. Not only is he going to win, but he's also going to win California. It's because of what I learned from 2016. But the polls are a funny thing, right? People always say, well, the polls say that he's losing all these states, he's losing the nation, all this kind of stuff. And then you look at other polls where he's leading by a crazy amount. The funny thing about polls, I'm just going to let this out, is that I've been asked to answer a poll now and again. And what I do, and I know there's other people that do this, where I give the answer of who I want to go against Trump. So during the primaries and things like that, when they were still trying to decide between Bernie and Warren and Biden, all that kind of stuff, when I was being polled, I was polling for Bernie. So they would call me on the phone and I'd say, well, who do you think we should? And I'd say Bernie, right? And so then the things go, well, Bernie's leading Trump, he's leading other people, because so many people are saying they want Bernie, or so many people are saying they want Biden, because none of the people in the Republican Party are saying Trump. Why would we say Trump, right? What we're doing when we get asked for polls is we're saying who we want Trump to go against. And I think many people know that, but they just want to say, well, the polls say, yeah, because all of us that know, what's going to happen, we're skewing the polls because we're saying we want the other person. Like on the Facebook polls, on the USA Today polls, on all these polls, I go on there and vote for the Democrat that I think that should be going against Trump. And I really think it should be Biden. And I think that he should have Stacey Abrams. I think that would be a great team for Trump to go against, which will lead me to my discussion tomorrow. All right, and I know this is not the bad, but I'll be coming on as the lemming because the dummies who decide to. So there's no argument, right? When you bring up a discussion about something, when I'm bringing up, something like. What was it the other day that I was talking about? I was talking about opening schools and closing nursing homes and doing a better job of taking care of our elderly, that they don't necessarily all need to be in these nursing homes, that the sick and the people that have a lot of pre-existing stuff. That's the word. That's the scientific word I can come up with right now. But that pre-existing things that will likely cause them to die if they do get COVID, that those are the ones they need to get out of their nursing homes, right? And get them into the hospitals that are virtually empty. Our hospitals are empty. Doctors are being furloughed, medical personnel being furloughed. And instead of furloughing all these people, take all the elderly, unlike what Cuomo did, was that he put all the COVID positives in the nursing homes like a moron, like an idiot, right? Where he virtually killed people for that decision. He had an empty medical ship in the harbor in New York, where it was changed over to for the ability to take COVID-19 patients. Did he take any of those people that were old and suffering from COVID-19? Did he put them in those floating hospitals? No, he put them back in the nursing home, which caused hundreds of deaths. A third of the deaths in New York in the United States are people in nursing homes. A third of the deaths but a very small fraction are those that are not in nursing homes, right? So these things are crazy. So let's have a talk tomorrow. Yeah, so there's no argument. So I know what I was going to. When I was talking about this issue, it was now I'm a lemming and I'm an asshole and I'm a jerk and I'm whatever else they said about me. But the discussion had nothing to do with President Trump. It had to do with the decision to keep open nursing homes. And then somebody said, well, nursing homes aren't open. I couldn't get in to see my grandmother or mother. No, that it's still open. Right? They're still taking care. That when I mean close, I mean shut them down, put all of the people that are old and have pre-existing issues in a place where they can be better cared for. And nursing home, not always. Some of them are very medically stable and have a great medical team, but a lot of them aren't. They're simply just homes where they have somebody that has some training in nursing and other kind of stuff. What I was saying is that you need to take and put them in a place where there is doctors and ventilators and the medical team that is trained to handle with all the PPE and all the things, that you separate them a little bit further, not in the conditions that you find them in a nursing home where they're kind of like right next to each other, where there's 2 to a room, sometimes 3 to a room, right? No, get them out of that situation, get them into a medical environment. That's what I'm saying. But suddenly I'm a jerk and I'm an asshole or a lemming because I said, let's take better care of the elderly. And since the children don't seem to be affected, there's a few here and there, not enough to be. There's more kids that are getting sick and dying from other things that are going on in our world. But the fraction that may be being affected by COVID-19 is not enough to keep our schools closed. That was the point. It has nothing to do with who's president of the United States. Nothing. Virtually nothing. But because I made that post, now I'm a lemming is what that came out of that post, right? And also that I wanted to kill my children, that I was hoping my children would die. That's the other idiot that got on the post and had a completely different stupid remark that had nothing to do with the facts or the science or what's going on. So that's the crazy part about the opposition. The opposition is all about you're an idiot, as opposed to, well, here, Andy, here's a study that's showing that maybe your point of view may not be correct. They never do that, right? They never come up and say, okay, this is what I've heard. Here is a study from Harvard, from Paris, France, or wherever else, South Korea, where when they did what you're talking about, there was a bad result. That is a great discussion. That is a debate. That is bringing in information that I can look at and go, oh, you know what? I did not see that in my research. I did not see that there was a study in South Korea that had the opposite of what I thought was true, right? No, it's never that. It's that you're an a-hole. Okay, that's a good response. That's an intelligent response that tells you. So that's why I love I'm going to be a lemming, because that's I love that. That is my name. All right, so tomorrow we're going to have a discussion on some of the points that we have going on tomorrow. I noticed I lost a lot of people when I went through that discussion. There were like a large number of people. Now it's like 3 or 4 people. All right, so tomorrow, let me know in your comments. Mario has not let me know if he wants me to be in the afternoon, Pacific Standard Time, or in the evening. 1/3. That's it. We can't top that, unfortunately. Shakes my head. So sad. Yeah, I mean, but that's a large amount, right? When you're looking at the percentage of people that died, if a third of those are people in nursing homes, that's significant, right? And those are left open, right? Those are the things that we still have in place and that kind of stuff. But where we have, like, not even, it doesn't even register when you were to count for like the 2 or 3 kids that caught COVID-19. They didn't necessarily die from COVID-19. I mean, like, they just caught it and recovered. The deaths is insignificant. I mean, there's any death. Say there was a kid that was 5 or 10 or 11. That is horrible, right? That is bad. But when you're talking about the percentages and looking at the data as to, all right, so we're going to keep nursing homes open when there's a third of the deaths from COVID-19 are in nursing, but we're going to keep those open. All right, just look at the logic. Follow me on this. But then we have virtually 0 children that are in elementary school, junior high, and high school being negatively affected by COVID-19. But we're going to close those. Right? Do you understand where I'm going with that? the child and the whole family is more likely to get injured or die from a car accident on the way to school than them actually getting infected by COVID-19. That's where you got to look at, like, why are we doing this? Because it's causing us problems, right? Parents can't go to work because now I'm homeschooling. For instance, I have 4 children, 3 of them are in elementary school, one's in junior high. I got 3 businesses to run. I cannot get to my business, and I'm virtually going broke trying to balance the thing between getting them to be educated and also trying to run the business, which I can't do. All my business is run over the internet and over computers. But I have 3 computers and I got 4 kids. Right. So how are we supposed to make that work? That is the problem. Well, you rather work and you'd rather have your kids die, but the kids aren't dying in schools, right? There's nothing to show that going to school has caused either a child to get sick and die, nor that a child got the COVID-19 and brought it home and killed their elderly, parent or grandparent. That I've seen nothing. If you have something, those are the things I want to see. I have not seen it, and I have researched, I've watched, I've listened, I've listened to other doctors, I've interviewed doctors, I've interviewed 4 different doctors on my show, and not one of them has ever brought up, there's a study that said that, when kids go to elementary school, they die from COVID-19, and then they bring it home and kill their family. There's not one of those studies. There's not one of those things that I've ever seen. If it's out there, send it to me. I have not seen it. Personally, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm telling you that I haven't seen it. And I've been pretty active in trying to locate information that will help me understand why our schools are closed. As a vice president of the PTA, as a parent who has children that are in elementary and junior high, I'm obviously very interested in seeing that stuff. And yet nobody's produced it. Nobody's said anything about it. And not one of the doctors I've said say, hey, we've seen a whole bunch of little kids coming into our hospital that are infected by COVID-19. None of them. None of the people that are actively working in emergency rooms, actively working in the COVID-19 world, right, being a part of it, have been able to tell me, well, no. We've seen a couple to come in with COVID-19. They're kind of sick, but we send them home, right? Usually, if they're sick with it, we've sent them home. They've recovered, and it's not that big of a deal. It's like anything else that they've had. We've actually seen kids come up with other things that are far worse. But most of the kids that have had COVID-19 have it first, and then they go home and nothing happens, and they're not sick at all, right? That's the truth. That's the thing that I've heard from most people. But tomorrow we're going to be talking about why I think President Trump will win California. Not a very popular idea or thought. Not that people, I think it's a horrible idea. Like there's many Californians that I know of that would hope that happens, but they often tell me I don't agree with you. I don't think that's possible because California is so blue. I disagree. I think there's a really good chance that he could win California and will. I feel confident that he will. And then in November, I will remind everybody that I said he was going to win California. All right. So tomorrow I'll be laying out some of my ideas of why I think that is true. If you're watching this in the replay, I've seen Mario says evening, Eastern time, Pacific Standard Time. All right. So there's one vote for in the evening. So he wants me to do the show in the evening. So if you're watching this, whether you're watching live right now or the replay, let me know when you think I should broadcast that show. If it should be sometime during the day or in the evening, AM or afternoon or evening Pacific Standard Time. Lay it out for me when you want me to do that show. That'd be awesome. All right. That's it. And thank you, Mario, for joining. You are the only one who was brave enough to comment on this particular show. The last show I did that was very similar to this, it blew up with comments. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show and look forward to laying out the reasons why I think Donald Trump will win California in November. All right, take care. We'll talk to you later. Oops, I didn't have it laid up. Here we go. And I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.